Miketz, ideas in the realm of Gematria from the Parshah. After spending many years in a dungeon, Yosef is finally brought out and is given an opportunity to rise to greatness according to the plan of Hashem. How did this opportunity play itself out? When Paro could not get a good interpretation of his dream, it was the minister of wine, also called the chief cup-bearer, who spoke up and mentioned what had happened with Yosef and him and the chief baker, how Yosef had the ability to accurately interpret dreams. In his telling about Yosef to Paro, he said, "And there was with us a Hebrew lad, a slave/servant of the chief slaughterer, and we told him, and he interpreted our dreams for us. For each of us he interpreted according to his dream." Genesis 41:12. In Hebrew, you can see in this verse two words, Hebrew, which is ivri, and slave or servant, which is eved, next to each other, although they're not part of the same word. The pasuk reads, "V'sham itanu na'ar ivri eved l'sar hatabachim v'nisaper lo v'yiftar lanu es chalomosenu ish ka chalomo pasar." A Hebrew lad, a slave of the chief slaughterer, or a servant of the chief slaughterer. These two words were put together as one compound word, and it was about Yosef, and they were used by the wife of Potiphar in last week's Parshah during her failed attempt at seducing him when she said, "The Hebrew slave that you brought us came to me to mock me." Genesis 39:17. Ba'elai ha'eved ha'ivri asher heveso lanu l'tzachik bi. The Hebrew slave here, referring to Yosef, is in fact the first time in the Torah that these words are mentioned together, the words Hebrew and slave. Is the story of Yosef telling us something more than just that he was a Hebrew slave? We learn in the Parshah of Mishpatim, Exodus 21, about a Hebrew slave who, after working for 6 years, goes free. A slave will go through hardships and trials, but after a time, eventually will go free, as the Torah tells us. Yosef went through hardships and trials for a period of time and remained faithful, indeed showing to be a role model and picture of a righteous Hebrew slave, and in the ultimate sense, the slave or servant of God that every Jew and every human being should aspire and strive to be. In Gematria, the words Eved Ivri have a numerical value of 358, which is the exact numerical value of the word Mashiach, or Messiah. The righteous Messiah, indeed, is the picture of the perfect Eved Ivri, Hebrew slave or servant of Hashem. As we move more toward being true Hebrew slaves or servants of Hashem, may we merit to see the arrival of the Mashiach and the final and complete redemption soon and in our day. Have a great Shabbos.